Welcome to my video. What I want to do in this video is I want to measure the resistance of two different sets of resistors, the 2.2K ohm and the 680 ohm. I want to show how to use the color codes to determine the value, and then I'm going to use my multimeter to actually measure the value of the resistors and see how they are. Okay, the first one I've chosen here is the 2.2K ohm. Now notice this is a 1% resistor. So what it does, it actually has a fifth band. So your fifth band here is going to be the tolerance, and that's going to be brown. That's going to be 1%. Most of them just have 4 bands, but this has 5 because of that. So let's look at this resistor here. So we've got, and you may be a little hard for you to see, but I'll read them off. There's a red, so that red is 2, and then the third band is going to be a black. So it's 2, 2, 0, and then the multiplier here is going to be a brown. And so a brown on this scale is going to be 10 to the 1, so that's 10. So it's 2, 2, 0 times 10, or 2.2K. So this is how they're marked. Now, I want to measure these with my volt ohm meter here. So let's turn it to the ohm scale. That's the ohm scale, and the OL means it's out of bounds or out of limits. Basically it's an open loop is what it is, and it's on the mega ohm scale. So let's measure these resistors. Now this is 2.2K, so it should be plus or minus 22 ohms around that value if it's within the 1% tolerance. So let's see what it is. Okay, so it's 2.213. So that's just 1 ohm away from the measured or the listed value. So that one's definitely good, within tolerance. Now let's check this one. .195K ohm. So on the K ohm scale, that definitely is within tolerance. It's within plus or minus 22 ohms of the stated value. So let's put these aside. Now I'm going to look at the 680 ohm resistor. Pull a couple of these out. There we go. Now their color code is a little different, obviously. So let's see, let's get this oriented properly. So there is going to be our, sometimes it's kind of hard to tell, you gotta look real close. Okay, there we go. There's going to be our precision, our purple, brown at the end. So that is that right there. It almost looks purplish, but it's not. Okay, so this is gonna be 680. So the first one is going to be blue. And looking on our chart here, blue is a 6. And then the second band is going to be a gray. So gray, 80, that's 8, so 6, 8. Our third band here is going to be black. That's a 0, so 680. Now our multiplier, which is the fourth band in this case, is going to be black again, so that's 10 to the 0. So 680 ohms. So it is marked properly. It's in the proper bag. Now, let's put it on the ohm meter and see what it reads. So we've got 7 ohms. The 1% of 680 is approximately 7 ohms. So it should be reading within that range. So it should read anywhere from 673 up to 687. 673, so that's okay. 678, so that one's okay. A little on the low side, but not, it's within tolerance. Let's check this one. Okay, 667. Okay, now that's low. That really is not within tolerance, because 1% of 680 is 7 ohms, approximately. And so that would be 673. So this is about 5 ohms out of tolerance, 6 ohms out of tolerance. So this resistor, I guess the moral of the story is here, that even though these are listed as a 1% resistor, This one is not. And so we need to, I'm going to be using these in future videos. I'm going to have to take that into account that this one is a little bit off. So that's just kind of an FYI. You want to be careful when you're measuring things, or don't always take the color band. It's not always exactly right. There are manufacturing tolerances, and sometimes these are out of tolerance. But I hope you did learn a little bit about measuring resistances, how to use the color code system, and about tolerances, and understanding that not all things are manufactured per their tolerance. So thank you for watching.